Good. I'm glad to hear that. Great. Hi, Sandra. Good morning. I see somebody from a 858 area code. Good morning. Hi, Lila. Good morning. How's everybody doing today? Happy almost spring. When is it spring officially? Are we in spring officially yet? I don't know when that changes. It's the 20th today. Does anybody know? Getting close. March 20. Oh, so we've been in spring. Thought it was last one. Yeah, yep. See how much I know about that kind of stuff? Not much. All right. Let's give it another minute to get everybody in. June 21st. I do know that. You know how I know that, Carl, is my birthday is June 20th. So I know that I'm always right around the first day of summer. So I do know that one. But thank you. Okay. All right, guys, let's get going. So today's topic is moving before you're ready. Now, I can tell you probably 10 different times that pop in my mind immediately when I was put in a situation that if I really had to think it through, I wouldn't have done it. But once I started to move into the process, I realized that it was the best learning experience of my entire life. Has anybody ever felt that way? Where you're almost in a situation where you move into something before you truly feel that you're ready, and you didn't give yourself enough time to really mentally go through the process, because if you had, you would have paused and stopped yourself from doing something that turned out absolutely spectacular. So that's what we're going to talk about today, about the importance of this entire process and how it's truly, for a lack of a better term, a mind game. And if we can regulate our thoughts, taking calculated risks, yes. Well, not even just calculated, just, yeah, I guess that's a good way of putting it. Now that I think about it, yeah, yeah, taking calculated risks. So let's think about this. So, what if the reason you're stuck isn't because you don't know what to do, okay? But because you're waiting to feel ready before you become who you need to be. So we get into these situations where we don't always feel confident. Yeah, take one day at a time. Absolutely. We don't always feel confident. And confident is a result, not a requirement. Okay. Readiness is a myth your brain uses to make you feel safe. Okay. Well, I'm not ready for that yet. I'm not there yet. Right. But sometimes when you're put in a situation where you don't have any other choice but to just do it, you realize that you're more ready than you ever thought you could ever be. So look at your careers. Look at all you've accomplished in your careers. And think about some of the places where you want to go in your career. Maybe you're happy where you are. Maybe some of you want to move it to the next level, right? But when you think about moving and putting yourself out there for the next promotion or acceleration, you get stuck. You start to think, I'm not good enough. I can't do it. I remember this very clearly when I was in corporate America. For those that don't know, I spent 20 years of my entire life in a leadership role in corporate. I started off in sales, and then I moved into leadership. Now, when I was offered the role to run the Northeast region, I immediately put up that hesitation. How could I ever be ready for something like this? How is that even possible? Like, do I have enough experience? Why do they want me? So all of those limited beliefs started running rampant in my mind. Okay, rampant. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm not ready for this. There is just no way that I can lead a $30 million region and motivate these individuals to do what they need to do to get to our goals. Well, somehow, some way, they believed in me at that time more than I believed in myself, and I ended up getting the job and the promotion. And as I started to get myself situated in that role, I remember thinking, wow, this is such an opportunity for me to use my skills and my talents in a positive way and to allow my creativity to truly shine. So I started to embrace it. So I realized they didn't put me here for no reason. They put me here because they knew it was strategically the right move. And that is where that self confidence started to take over. I'm going to read Carl's comment. Key strategies, I love your comments, Carl. Key strategies include setting small, achievable goals, practicing self compassion, improving. Yep. Reviewing failure. Yes, exactly. So it's about small steps to get to your end result. Same thing when I left corporate America to start my own business. Now that was a huge leap of faith and a very, very scary time because I was walking into the abyss. I didn't know what was going to be in front of me. And I can tell you a year and a half later of being in this position, I am so happy and so fulfilled from a personal and emotional perspective simply because I did what my soul wanted me to do. Sometimes we have to take risks, and risks get us to the happiness and the healthy version of ourselves that we always knew was there. Sometimes we stay in the known areas of our life because they feel secure. Even if they're not good for you, they feel secure in some way, sense, or form, right? They make you feel like you already know the next steps. It's comfortable. It's a comfort zone. And getting out of our comfort zone is not always easy. So I want to ask you a question. Where in your life are you waiting to feel ready before you move? Where in your life? Write it down. You don't have to tell me if you don't want to. Um, but if you choose to, that's great as well. But where in your life are you waiting to feel ready before you move? I want you to think that one through. See, the thing is, we don't get confident, then act. That's not how it works. You act, then the confidence is created. Financial investments. That's a big one. Financial investments is a big one, Carl. Yeah. Yeah, I understand that one. So what happens is, and many of you that follow me or have spent time with me know that I spend a lot of time talking about the reticular activating system because it really does filter who you believe you are, okay? And then it feeds your subconscious with all of those notions. So it's like your gateway into your subconscious mind. And whatever you feed your subconscious is what your subconscious believes, whether it's true reality or not. So if you keep feeding your subconscious with the fact that you are, you know, uh, confident, self fulfilled, abundant. You get really clear on where you want to go and your next steps and what your future looks like. Then your subconscious will start bringing in more of what you truly desire. So when it comes to our confidence or feeling ready, sometimes we have to take a step back and look at where we want to truly go and what the end result we want looks like. So if you want to be financially secure, if you want to have, abundance, if you want to pay off all of your debt, if you want to have that promotion, whatever it is, you know your wants. I don't, but you do. Whatever those wants are, you have to reverse engineer and go from that point and move back as if you already have it. So what you're feeding your subconscious is all the thoughts that you already have it. So if it's a promotion, which is really easy to feed your subconscious with, you envision yourself in the state of already receiving the promotion, maybe in that new office, sitting in that new office. You visualize yourself making those decisions that you would have to make if you were in a position where you had that promotion. All of those things you envision and you write down as if it already occurred. So, what's happening is you're filtering through your reticular activating system and it's feeding your subconscious with the fact that you already received what you wanted. The key to this is the feeling you get when you allow yourself even 5 minutes a day to put yourself in the position of already receiving what you truly desire. Okay, so what that does is it helps people become more confident. Your subconscious will start to feed and your external world will start to resemble your internal thoughts so that you will start to now see areas where you will feel more confident. You will be exposed to things that'll put you in a position to get what you want. That's how it works. So we have to remember that when we want something, whether it's confidence or self-fulfillment or whatever it is, you have to put yourself in the belief that you already received it. And you continue to do that. Now, there's tools that will help you get there. I build a lot of subconscious reprogramming tailored tapes for my clients that helps them get to those points a lot easier. But truly, just sitting for 5 minutes is the best way to do it. Right. Taking a step back before rushing into things is a crucial proactive step for maintaining mental health. Yes. Yes. Because if we just take a step back and we start to really get clear on what our next step should be before we just allow our body to just go and do or your mouth to just say, then you are more strategic with the end result. The end result is a much more solid and strategic outcome. So yeah, so that's really the most important thing, is to understand exactly what it is that you want. And then the confidence comes. That's the truth of it. The confidence comes. But you have to get clear on what it is that you want, and you have to see yourself from the position of already having it. And when I started to use these techniques in my own life, I started to see the same results. For example, leaving corporate America, I envisioned exactly what I wanted my life to look like post corporate. It was 20 years of my life. I thought I was going to retire at that company, but I chose to take a different step. It didn't fulfill me any longer. This fulfills me. Following my soul's purpose fulfills me. And I got really clear on what that looked like. And everything blew up in a positive way. Opportunities started to come to me that put me in alignment with what I wanted. So the same thing happens for every single one of us. Nobody is special and has some sort of special gift over somebody else. Anybody and everybody can do this. That's the wonderful thing. So there are a few steps that will help you get to this point, and you can do these little techniques and little steps whenever you want. But I'm going to ask that you write down a few things. So take pen and paper out if you can. And I want you to write down who I am being right now when I hesitate. So who am I being right now when I hesitate? Write that down. Are you unsure? Are you waiting? Are you overthinking? Who am I being right now when I'm hesitating? Okay. Indecisive. Yeah, absolutely. Next question. Who I need to be to move forward. So who do I need to be to move forward? Okay. So does that mean self-trusting? Does that mean you have to be bold? Does that mean you have to be decisive, assertive? Yep. What would that version of me do today? What would that version of me do today? Take a chance, build confidence, take the first step. So anytime you are at a crossroads, start with those three questions. And then now the second step of this is identifying the flip. Okay. So if you were already the version of who has what you want, like we were just talking about, right? You already have it. What would feel normal to you today? What would feel normal to you? So if it's, I don't know, taking a risk and, going for that promotion, what would feel normal for you today? Well, it would be going over potential questions that may be asked during the interview, answering those questions with confidence. Maybe, going and taking a chance and reaching out to people to ask for referrals, whatever the case may be, whatever risk you're trying to take. If you already have it, what would feel normal for you to get you to those steps? When he stepped on the moon. Yep, fools don't rush in where angels fear to tread. Yeah, that's true. That's true, Carl. Investing when it feels so overwhelming, right? So, what would feel normal if you already had it? Making those big decisions. If you were in a promotional, if you were in an area where you already had the promotion, making those big decisions when it feels so abnormal to you, would they? Right? So the thing is, my friends, this is a Neville Garter, and anybody that knows me knows I love a good Neville moment, but you're not becoming that person, you're remembering them. You're already there. You've already done it. If you could see it in your mind's eye, if you can envision that you've already done the thing or want the thing, then you've already done it. It's already there. You just have to remember. Because when we remember, it shows us that it's already been accomplished. The hard part's already been done. And the thing is, this isn't something that is a one and done. We don't just do it one day and then we forget about it. We have to be very consistent about our actions and how we do things and when we do them. It's important to show assertiveness and clarity every single day. So, taking those three questions that I gave you and really getting clear on where you want to go and how you want to get there and what's holding you back is the secret sauce. You know, people underestimate the power of pen to paper, but there is such magic when you allow your thoughts to escape from your mind and place them on a piece of paper. I promise you, it changes everything. That's why I am a big fan of journaling. I journal, even if it's a couple just thoughts, 2 minutes a day. It doesn't have to be a thing. You don't have to put all this time into it, but it creates such a sense of clarity that you know exactly what your next steps need to be a heck of a lot faster than if you allow all of those thoughts, those 60,000 thoughts that we have throughout the entire day to just go rampant and crazy throughout your mind. It narrows you in and it gets you clear. It is the most powerful thing you could do. Pen to paper. Never forget that. It is so, so powerful. It changed my entire life for the better. So look at that. We are right at the time for meditation. I cannot believe it has gone that fast. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. So before we get into meditation, any questions, any comments? On to paper, off the mind. Yes, on to paper, off the mind. I like that, Carl. Very nice. Very nice. Yep. Yep. Yeah, keep up the good work. All of you, keep up the good work. All right. So let's close our eyes. I'm going to go off camera and let's get centered. So take a slow, deep breath in through your nose and exhale through your mouth, letting go of any tension, any pressure, any need to figure it all out. Just allow yourself to arrive right here and right now. Now bring your awareness to the version of you who already has what you desire. The version of you who moves forward without waiting, without hesitation, without needing permission. Notice how that version of you carries itself. Their energy, their posture, their presence. There's a certainty about them. Not because they know everything, but because they trust themselves. They don't wait to feel ready. They move and readiness meets them on the path. This version of you understands something very powerful. Action creates clarity. And movement creates momentum. Now imagine stepping into that version of you as if you're trying on a new identity. I want you to feel it in your body, in your chest, in your breath. You are no longer the version who hesitates. You, my friend, are the version who decides. Say to yourself softly and silently, I am the kind of person who moves forward. I trust myself to figure it out. I don't wait. I become. And now bring to mind that one thing you've been avoiding. I want you now to see yourself doing it with ease, certainty, and with calm power. Notice how natural it feels. That's because this is who you are now. Let that identity lock in. Feel it. Let it become familiar. Let it become normal. Feel the emotions of being who you truly are meant to be. And when you're ready, take a deep breath in and exhale slowly and gently. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And when it feels right, come back to this room and open your eyes. Remember, you don't have to become anything. You just have to remember that you are already who you want to be. It's that simple. So the biggest takeaways for today are those 3 questions to ask yourself anytime you hit a crossroads. Sit with it. And I challenge you to journal, even 2 minutes a day. And if you don't have 2 minutes, 1 minute. First thing in the morning is the best time, or right before bed. And if you can get yourself into a pattern of doing that, it'll bring more clarity. And you'll start to realize that you've had the confidence, the ability, the willingness, and the power to do anything and everything that you want. It's always been there. You just have to remember. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, everybody. Thank you for spending this time with me. You have a great day too, Sandra.